have a good afternoon. My name is Jess and I'm a knitter from the Midwest. Today I have compiled a video going over my 2025 Make 9. Now that we're at the end of the year, how did my knitting plans go? Did I actually make what I intended to? As well as go over my knitting plans in my 2026 Make 9. Before we get into that, I just wanted to share what I'm wearing today. This is my Nurtured sweater. This was a pattern by Andrea Mowry. It is a bottom-up raglan construction in this textured slip stitch. I knit this up in Rowan felted tweed in the black colorway. I did hold this double. It's an Aran weight pattern, so I did 2 strands of DK to achieve gauge. As we dive in, I would say grab a cozy beverage, but I did want to ask, does anybody else just drink only one beverage at a time, or are they like me and surround themselves with emotional support beverages? I have my coffee from this morning, of course, a can of sparkling water, and my water bottle. So here's a reminder to stay hydrated. Let's get into it. All right, so my 2025 Make 9 included the Wellerman Shawl by Caitlin Hunter, the See My Vest from Emily Bolduan, Hey Sailor from Andrea Mowry, the Halibut Mittens by Caitlin Hunter, the Darjeeling Top by Trust the Mojo, the Baguette Jacket from Soumine Kim, the Book Club Shawl by Gavriella Treminio, the Melides Dress by Vert, and the Soul Sister Shawl by Sari Nordlund. Last year I was very much inspired by wanting to get into color work. I hadn't previously done stranded or mosaic knitting, as well as cables and patterns that featured the dip stitch technique. I really like that look of those like little fluffy, they almost look like hearts, and wanting to tackle the Melides Dress. I did complete 5 of the 9 patterns, so I did tackle just over 50% of them. I'll start off with the Wellerman Shawl. This is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. I knit this up in Cascade 220 in this heathered charcoal gray color. This is a textured, cabled shawl with these really cool pine tree looking designs that you create using cabling. I did also knit the See My Vest, sorry, my plant lights just turned off. I did knit the See My Vest pattern by Emily Bolduan to create a sweater vest this year. I do not have it with me at the moment, but I did use Lang Cloud Tweed. It's a super wash merino wool. I did want to create my first sweater vest just to fill that spot in my wardrobe. While I did not knit the Hey Sailor by Andrea Mowry, I did do my first mosaic color work knitting pattern, and that was the Pressed Flowers Kerchief by Amy Christoffers. I knit this up in Awa from Amano Yarns. This pattern on here is created by using 2 colors and every row, you're either knitting with one color and slipping the stitches up the other, and then alternating as you go to create texture and color. I really enjoyed this process. So I do have some plans to knit some more mosaic color work in this upcoming year. I did knit the Halibut Mittens by Caitlin Hunter. These are an all over stranded colorwork mitten pattern. It is a fingering weight pattern, and I used the Fiber Co. Amaro Light and Kelborn Woolen Scout to create these. They are currently blocking and they're pinned down, so I do not have them to show right now. I put the Darjeeling top on my Make 9 with the intention of re-knitting this pattern. I had made it in a color previously that I'm just not a fan of. I knit this pattern up making quite a few mistakes. I started out by choosing the wrong color. I thought, like, I don't have anything in this sort of colorway, and it was kind of intriguing. So I picked up like a purple brown color, and I just honestly don't like it on myself. And the second mistake I made with it was also just knitting it not long enough. I would like to get better at knitting bottom up patterns. I make the mistake of knitting them too short every single time. So eventually I would like to reknit this pattern in a color that makes sense for me. I'm thinking potentially black or charcoal gray are big colors in my wardrobe, because this is such a cute top and it's like great for summer. So it's somewhere in the horizon. I had the book club shawl on here, which honestly was competing with the Soul Sister shawl. The first pattern is by Gavriella Treminio. The latter is by Sari Nordlund. One features a cabled and dip stitch design, and then the Soul Sister shawl is an all over rib dip stitch design. Honestly, I just wanted to knit a pattern by Sari Nordlund finally, so I did choose that, and I'm very happy with my finished result. In this pattern, it is a worsted weight pattern. Sari holds a DK with a lace mohair to achieve the worsted weight. I chose to knit this up in a single strand of Manos del Uruguay Maxima, which is 100% merino wool, in this sweet potato colorway. It's kind of, you can see the mixture of dark to lighter reddish orange hues, and this is so incredibly soft. Yes, it did pill quite a bit. I wear this almost every day now that we are in winter, because it's just so soft and incredibly warm. Now the last two patterns on my Make 9 were the Melides Dress and the Baguette jacket. I did purchase yarn for the Melides Dress, and I did do the pattern pre-work. This is a made to measure pattern, and calls for knitting for olive pure silk. I chose to get the copper colorway, which I believe she uses in the sample. I did cast on and immediately messed something up with my cast on, and that alone like made me realize I'm not ready at this point in my life to make a fingering weight maxi dress. I have every intention of eventually making this pattern because I paid for the pattern, I did the pre-work, and I have yarn for it. Because I was wanting to knit a dress, I did opt to make the Coastline mini dress by Agla Knits. This is a sport weight pattern that I knit up in Kelborn Woolens Mojave in Prussian blue. This dress, being a mini dress and being a sport weight, was much less of a commitment. And this was actually a really awesome knitting process. Like, I love the details on this. Like, these are the bust darts. There's some increases at your hips. This is supposed to be finished with single crochet around all the edges. Instead, I opted to do I-cord. And to no fault of the pattern writer, I did knit my armholes too deep because I was not trying it on as I went. So to combat my bra showing, I just built up the fabric using double knitting. I did not finish that with an I-cord, I just left it as the double knitting. All right. And this is going to be a transitional piece from 2025 to 2026. The Baguette jacket by Soumine Kim. She suggests using Como Grande Merino held with Premia silk mohair. Both yarns are by Lamana. I could not find Lamana at my local yarn store. So I opted to go with Malabrigo Chunky, and this color is called Dark Earth. It's this chocolatey brown. It's very soft. It's very round as well, so I feel like this will be good for the cabling. I'm just holding it single. I don't prefer to hold mohair with my yarn. I did cast this on about a week and a half ago, and I have the back piece going. It's a combination of cables, purl, and moss stitch. So far, I'm liking how it's knitting up. It feels nice and thick and warm. So yeah. All right, so now let's look at the rest of my 2026 Make 9. I also have the Halibut cardigan by Caitlin Hunter, the Melides dress by Vert Knit, the Francisca hat by Amanda Scheuzger, the Catalina stripe pullover by Ashley Lillis, the Moonshiner, which is a shawl by Caitlin Hunter, Cute Salty Pretzel by Julita Bialkowska, the Adler sweater by Rebecca Clow, and a sweater for my boyfriend. Let's start off with the Halibut cardigan. I already have this pattern and the yarn for it. So this is going to be my first steeked knit. I know a lot of people are intimidated by this, but I'm kind of excited. I'm not really worried about it. The yarn that I purchased for this is the recommended yarn, Peace Fleece in the brownie colorway. This is a worsted weight yarn, and it's 75% Navajo Rambouillet and 25% mohair. Let's just take a moment to listen to that. And then I'm doing the contrast color in Vom's Ramagarn. This is another worsted weight yarn. It is 100% Norwegian wool. I think that these are gonna look so nice together with the dark brown and then this like slightly tan leaning oatmeal color. I'm very excited for this. All right. I already spoke about the Melides dress. We'll see if I get to it this year. Next, I have the Francisca hat. So I actually saw Taylor from the Wool Needles Hands podcast wearing this hat on one of her previous videos, and oh my god. So this reminds me of like late aughts, early 2010s. Like I'm thinking like roughly 2009 to like 2011 specifically. This hat just gives me those vibes, like with the slouchiness, and it just has like this little bit of cable detail to make it interesting. She had mentioned that the black, she had mentioned because she knit hers in black, like the detail is kind of hard to see, but I am 100% making this in black. The pattern writer, her name is Amanda Scheuzger. The recommended yarn is Classic Elite Yarns Lush. This is a Angora and wool blend. I'm 99% sure I'm gonna knit this up in more of a woolly wool, only because I don't love, for me personally, something that's like very fuzzy with like those like little fine like hairs sticking out. Yeah, I am 100% okay with bringing back the 2010s. Next, I have the Catalina striped pullover, which is by Ashley Lillis. She suggests using Drops Merino Extra Fine. This is a DK weight yarn. The reason I want to knit this pattern is I need more stripes in my life. 2, I really like the shoulder details on this. Ravelry states that this is knit in a contiguous method, top down, so that's all amazing for me. My thoughts are potentially knitting this in black with like a cream or potentially like a light tan for the stripes. I could also see myself doing like a cream with, I don't know, brown, dark brown stripes. I don't know. What's everybody else's thought? Next is a pattern that I have already purchased. This is the Moonshiner Shawl by Caitlin Hunter. She suggests using Farmer's Daughter Fibers Recollect, which is a sport weight Rambouillet. I don't have any ideas for specifically what color or what yarn I want to use for this. I personally like knitting shawls. I think it's a good project to bring with you anywhere. I like the meditativeness of it. And what drew me to this was the little bits of lace with how the baubles on it are placed. I have yet to knit baubles. I have heard others say that they don't enjoy it, but I'm game to try it. I also like that it features 2 colors to make it a little interesting. Next on here I have the cute salty pretzel. This is kind of filling a want of mine to make like small accessories that are stuffed, whether that includes like little food items or animals. I have like this itch to make like a cute little stuffed item. This particular pattern is free from Julita Bialkowska. Next I have the Alder sweater by Clow. This is suggested to be knit up in Sonder Yarn Co. Sunday Morning DK. Recently I was watching Casey from Young Folk Knits, and she says that she loves this yarn, so I'm very interested to try it. I believe I would consider ordering this to make this pattern in particular. This is to fulfill my need / want of making a mosaic colorwork garment. Lastly, my boyfriend requested me to make him a sweater. For inspiration, he did show me a portrait of Ernest Hemingway wearing this like sailor man, like big rolled collar sweater. I've done some browsing. I'm not 100% sure on what pattern I'm going to use yet, but I did consider the buckler, which is by Martin Storey. This is a DK weight pattern, and the suggested yarn is Rowan Moordale. I plan on doing some more Ravelry browsing to see if I can find something that I like better than this, but I do like the 2x2 rib, like tall collar on it, and it has all over texture on it. So it's a contender. All right. As with any plans, I could throw all of these completely out the window and do something else. But maybe you got some inspiration from what I'm currently taking inspiration from. Thank you all if you've stayed here to the end. I appreciate you spending your afternoon with me. And I look forward to seeing what everybody else plans on making in 2026. Bye.